Welcome to the show, family. Today we're going to do something a bit different. We're doing Meek Mill versus the people in a debate style setting.
So before we get into that, like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on all streaming platforms. I'm one of your hosts, TK, aka Arrogant Trill.
And I'm Darius, aka Mr. Popular Opinion. And this is Mind the Gap.
Welcome to the show. Today's segment is going to be a little bit different. Today we're going to use the technique that we use to get ready for an episode, or something that we do on the regular, which is argue and debate on any subject that we may or may not believe in at all. We just take opposing sides and see who can win. We go back and forth, and then sometimes we'll switch sides just to see if the person is the better debater or not. And that's what we're going to do today to make sure we get all point of views of a certain topic.
The rules are we're going to debate for about 8 minutes. Before we're going to flip this coin to decide who's going to be representing what side.
Depending on what side the coin lands on, that person that's representing the defendant has to wear a cape. Because it's a little term that we made up for somebody trying to save a opposing side. You're caping.
And in this case, we're trying to decide who's going to be caping for Meek Mill. And since I'm going to be flipping the coin, TK gets to decide what side of the coin he wants.
Heads.
And it looks like you're caping for Meek Mill. You ain't gonna flap the cape? All right, so he's gonna set the timer for 8 minutes.
How do you save anybody in this?
It's you saw Incredibles. It's impractical. You saw how many superheroes get snatched up. That's why you in trouble.
Okay.
Okay.
We shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. All right. Ready?
Yeah. I think people are justified in their outrage towards Meek Mill's art on his bus that he's driving around in public cities. I think it does lend to the stereotypes that are already put on black women, and I do think it is inappropriate.
I disagree with you on the representation of black women. It represents a certain type of black woman, and for each individual that interprets it that way, they are free to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But on that bus, may I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see your mother on that bus?
No.
Did you see your sister on that bus?
Mm-mm.
Did you see any loved ones represented on that bus?
No, I did not.
No. So if that's interpreted by you, and I can interpret it also, then and it's also art, then everybody's free to do that. Yes, you can interpret that into that, but you can interpret anything. An individual can interpret anything from that bus.
Okay.
So
do you think that even though it's art, it can't have a negative effect?
Yeah, I mean, it's art. Art itself is a neutral thing until it hits an individual,
mm-hmm.
and then it has negative or positive impact on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I see that art, like just for me, when I see that art and I hear the name Expensive Pain,
yeah,
I understand. Well, from my understanding, it says that you have an area in your life that you spend money on, and it causes you pain.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I just assumed it was either a prostitute, a stripper, a sex worker, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I see the yachts and all these other stuff that he has on there that represent money or things that you buy with money.
Right.
That's why I interpret it as. And each individual can interpret it how they want. But I didn't see nobody that I cared for. I didn't see Michelle Obama up there represented as that.
Right.
One black person doesn't represent all black people.
That's true.
Just like Meek Mill doesn't represent.
But that's the issue with stereotypes is that we don't put them on ourselves. People put them on us.
Is that wrong? Is that the person's fault or the other people's fault?
It's the other people's fault, but we do play into it at times, and that's the point, that you can actually add to the atmosphere of the stereotype. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the issue is here. Mm-hmm. That by publicly presenting the art in that way, in such a public manner, that he is adding to the air of the stereotype that black women are promiscuous and flaunt and are just good for sex out in the public. And I think he's reinforcing that by driving the bus around.
If he had white women up there, would you have felt that way? Or would the people felt that way?
Probably so, but not. Of course, they wouldn't feel that way about black stereotypes. They'd feel that way about women, that he's just flying women around.
flaunting women around, just saying that that's the type of women that he can buy.
Yeah.
So even if it was a different race, would they have said that this group of people is?
Yeah, there still would have been an issue with it. There would have been an issue with the representation of women, just scantily clad or not covered at all and showing their private parts around town. And the issue is if it being explicit content that's just being flaunted openly. He still would have had issues regardless. But in this case, it's specifically on the black community and more specifically black women.
Okay, so it's just because the black women has that. So do you not think that's a stereotype that maybe need to change?
What do you mean? Change how?
Change the ideal of black women, since black women are the most educated. Since black women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs in the world. 2.6 million small owned business owners. One of the biggest small businesses is RLS that's ran, well, the president is a black woman. She's also the CEO. I know black women for doing that. I know Michelle Obama. Yeah. I know great women. I don't know those women that's like that. The only women I know like that or that I can remember that represents that are women that are at strip clubs.
Right, yeah. So
that's what I see. I think that has everything to do with lack of experience and education.
That's the thing. A lot of people have a lack of education and experience, especially with black people. So sometimes you have to be careful on what representations we put out, because proper things have proper channels. Yeah. Some things you have to go search for. Like a lot of artists we like, you have to go to the YouTube channel and search for. But he's putting it out in the open and just driving around. You
have to go to museums to see, naked white women or naked anything. Right. And
yes, you do.
And then you make that
inside closed doors.
Inside closed doors. But what does it matter?
What do you mean, what does it matter?
I don't think it matters if it's in closed doors or outside.
Why?
Because it's art. Art has no boundaries.
So you don't see the difference in having sex in private versus having sex in public?
I didn't consider that art though. Do you consider that art?
Some people do.
I don't.
Okay, but does it matter? Does it matter that you consider art or not? Because if you recognize the effect that you have on people.
Well, if I'm in another country, then they out there doing that, then by all means, if it's legal and that's what they do in their culture, then by all means, then I understand that. Just like if I want to say Greece, and they had to do that stuff, and you have like red light district where you can open the window and actually you see people having sex or whatever the case may be. If that's okay. Is it just because it's a societal thing because it's over here?
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point of stereotypes. Yeah, but the effect we have on society.
So how do we change that?
We have to put out more positive representations of ourselves, because that's part of the issue, that the larger media doesn't show us in a positive light. So when you only get those negative images, then it reinforces those stereotypes. Because if you're part of the black community, you understand that nuance. You understand that there's Michelle Obamas and there's Meg Thee Stallion, and you get that they can both be educated. You know, Meg Thee Stallion went to school just like Michelle Obama.
That's a fact.
But the wider society doesn't know that. All they know is the images they were fed, and we have to take responsibility to what you feed into.
Yeah, what they feed into, what they eat don't make me shit. So I don't care what other people think. But as a community, we shouldn't care what other people think. Meek Mill is an individual.
We shouldn't?
No.
So we shouldn't have fought for civil rights?
Yeah, that right there is different, because you're holding me up from eating at the same or going to the same bathroom. You holding me up for getting a job.
So you think the stereotypes that are out now aren't holding us up at all?
Not those. I just gave you black women are the most educated. Right. Black women are, as far as entrepreneurs, they are the fastest growing entrepreneurs in the world.
So we're done with discrimination.
I didn't say that we're done with discrimination.
So those stereotypes still have a play on the larger black society.
But in my the way I feel, especially in the those things affect when people are like at a job, like the police. Stereotypes like that. Yeah. Stuff like this. If you don't get what the art, if it's art, it's just art. That's my main thing about that. It's just art. If you see something that you see,
but no, when you talking about people, it's never just art.
And also with that, with the times that we done as well as when the time that we just march forward without asking for anything. At this point, we asking for people to see us in a different light. When the times that we thrived in society is when we made our own way. When we had the Wall Streets. When we had
what happened to those Wall Streets?
That has everything to do with the laws.
But who was made by who?
That has everything.
Who was made by who?
That was the whites.
Yeah, the laws are made by the whites. Even when we were striving by ourselves, is because the way they felt that it had that much of a negative impact.
But look how.
So we live in a society where the larger part of the society is dominated by other people. Their opinion does matter.
I don't think. Once again, I disagree if we have our own things.
But we don't.
We do. I just gave you the numbers. Black women are the most educated.
Those are individual successes, but
those are not. Those are large numbers of success. That's a large group. The most successful, the most educated group by ratio is black women. That's not just a one person. That's a large group. 2.6 million. That's a large group. Small business. One of the largest small businesses is RLS. Good RLS. I'm not. It's a RIT. But those are businesses that are great by great people. So
who are still subject to what laws?
The laws that everybody else got to abide by. Now they're more harsh on us, but we're still subject to those laws. But regardless of how you feel about it, we can't fall prey because of how stuff look from other people's perspective. Yeah, it's time.
Okay. So how do you think you did?
It was all right. I think we could do it over. How you think you did? You had some good points.
Yeah, I think I did. I think we did. I mean, this is.
I think we stayed too long on one topic though.
Yeah, we could have
brought up the kid situation. Yeah. We could have brought up the white dude talking.
Yeah. So what do you think about that stuff? Because like with the white dude speaking, he is talking about our community, like inserting his opinion into like Black matters, but at the same time, he's like the people that we're trying to reach, and it's like, how far do you go with like allies? Is he overstepping his bounds by commenting on the bus, or is he actually helping or bringing light to it?
I think this goes. I mean, for me, man, you know how I am.
Yeah.
It's always for me. It's the individual that the thinking process. Like I get what you're saying, as far as like him being the ally, but like I think he's free to speak the way he want to speak. Cool, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I get Meek Mill saying the same thing. What was you when I didn't hear you as loudly as you do on this bus as I for George Floyd or anything else? Yeah. If you have that much of an opinion, what are you doing in Philly? I think that's my biggest thing too. Like Meek Mill has done a lot for Philly, and what are y'all saying? And for this guy to stay on topic, to say this is how y'all black women want to be represented, I don't see that as representing black women.
Right.
Again, when I see that, I just he's
spending
money.
But you know what's funny? I think him commenting like that is like the reason they.
Yeah, to your point earlier, as we arguing, you said the point is like this. It's the larger group that we have to worry about, and I think you're right about that. As far as
because he jumped out there by himself.
Yeah,
like,
but
this is how y'all want to be looked at. It's like, why do you look at us?
Yeah, why do you look at us like that? Why do you think that represents all black women? That what do you like? That's how I be like, what are you talking about? Like when I go to the art museum and I see the white women in there or naked, or when I go to certain other museums, I see I don't think that represent all white women. When I see the Karens on the street, I don't think they represent all white women. Yeah,
but I think we are more enlightened people. I think, and that's why I was saying, I think that's why, I understand your point, but that's why I think other people's point of view should be considered, especially if you're a minority. That means like the representation we getting out is like limited. So that's why that white dude was probably like, all I watch is Meg Thee Stallion videos.
You watch Meg Thee Stallion, The Wire, and shit. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, that has everything to do with education. And I get that what you're saying. Like, you made a good point when you said a lot of people not educated. And my initial thought was like, that's not my fault, but I still could be victim of that. Yeah. That's the beauty of that. It's like I can still be a victim of somebody's lack of education.
And that's how it is most times.
That's how it is when the police I view you as the same as this person down the street, even though I ain't done nothing. That's how a lot of people get like stereotypes a lot of times get people like messed up out here, killed even. You know what I mean? So I do get that when you say it's overall thinking, but I do think Meek Mill has every right to do that. Yeah. And he should have the right to, because even the art that is made by a black woman. And you can be like that. She doesn't represent that, and it's a type of art. Like black art should be represented, period.
And it's not much different than other. I studied art. I'm a graphic designer. When I saw it, I wasn't offended by it.
I had a degree in that thing.
Yeah, I just took it as art, and I've seen a lot of paintings like that made by white people. That Cubism, and they made skin class. One of the most popular paintings in the world is by Picasso, The Women in the Bathhouse. It's pointed in a distorted way, but it's still naked women in it. So I look at it in a different lens.
But you call that beautiful.
Yeah.
But you also
and it's worth a lot of money right now.
Yeah, that's a fact. And you also got to understand, I remember I seen a preacher, how he used to talk about how when Michelle used to have her arms out. That's not ladylike. That's not what ladies supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's not what a woman's supposed to be doing. But then when Trump, who married a porn star, she said, "Oh, this is art. This is beautiful art. This is her body is a thing from God." You know what I'm saying? And you and you like for your argument, which is a good point. Like, why would I try to get his perspective to change?
Yeah.
You talking about she should be wearing longer sleeves. Meanwhile, this woman over here is naked, and you talking about it's art. So why should I care about your opinion?
Yeah.
And what can I do? If you talking about sleeves compared to nakedness, how can I change your opinion anyway? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
because you too far gone
you too
already.
far gone
You already
anyway.
in that.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. Like when I think of that, like for your point, like that's a good point. Like we have to do something as far as getting people to understand black people, but I also understand that black people need to stop trying to get people to hey, come over here, talk to me. Like I don't think
more separatist approach, kind of like when Malcolm X was starting to lean towards before he, got line. He was like, "It's cool, y'all be over there, but just let us do this over here." You know
that's my number one thing, bro. Just stay out of our way. And even for him, his intentions was good, but like we say, you know what I mean, the road to hell is paved with good intentions,
right?
And even when he was saying it was Satanism, it was all this other stuff, and that's cool. Whatever, believe what you want to believe. That's your world or whatever. But don't try to say this is how black women. This is what y'all want to be represented of. Like, because
what do you know about?
What do you know about? What you know about our representation? Same thing with any other culture. I don't talk about how people in India represent however they represent. Yeah, because I don't know what I'm talking about. Right. That's not my culture. Same thing with Chinese people.
And that was when I started to stumble because you started hitting me with the outside. I was like, and then I had to bring back what we talk about here with the stereotypes, because now you're getting into like different perspectives on how they view sex and stuff. Like, he brought up Amsterdam. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get to that. So we're gonna bring this back to the U.S. Well, we know what the stereotypes are.
How you feel about the kids saying it?
I'm kind of mixed, but I'm also really not offended about it. Because I think a problem is, I know personally growing up, my people were more reactive than proactive. Like they didn't proactively have these discussions, which I think is a problem with a lot of people out there, that like sex and body parts and stuff is a kind of taboo. Yeah. So
you think it should be?
No, I don't think it should be. And I think part of that is leaning towards that problem that people aren't even comfortable having these conversations. So when they're forced to do it, they're like, it's not right for you to have to force me to do such and such. But I understand that, him being out in public with that is kind of different, because now it's out in the open. They're like, okay, you would have to search for this stuff, in a different format, go online and look for it. But now you just have it out in the open. And now we got to I should have the right to, bring that to my kids or discuss that with my kids when I want to.
I agree with you on the beginning part, but a kid's gonna be exposed to stuff, and it's better for you to hit them before they get exposed to it. Right. The beauty about being a kid and then not an adult is that you don't have to unlearn anything. The hardest thing about teaching adults is that they have to unlearn something before they learn something. Kids, you don't have that problem with. So if you get to them early, they'll get it. Because there's going to be stuff out there they're going to be exposed to. Drugs, whether it be on the game. You know how many games, even the games we played on the 64. Yeah. You know what I mean? HBO at night, you know what I'm saying? You got that last channel, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel what I'm saying? So we was exposed to stuff, just us. And when we was younger, exposed to stuff before.
And we didn't even have all the outlets and stuff.
That's a fact. Social media, you know what I'm saying? The type of games where I can talk to anybody. We just had chat rooms? Yeah.
But what do you say to those parents who are vigilant and they have they locks on their kids' phones and they very protective of what they have a relationship with their kids? Like, I think he'll be ready to talk to this at this age, and then before they get to that period, it's already taken away from it, and they're forced to have that conversation before they're ready to.
Life come at you fast.
You got to pivot.
Yeah, you got to pivot. You got to pivot because that's not a lot of adults. No, at least not from where we from. At least that what we see. Like I told you, I got nieces, little goddaughters and nieces and nephews that say stuff. I'm like, where your mom at? Yeah. I'm about to tell. Yeah. Yeah, you don't say that. And stuff like that. So it's you're going to be exposed to stuff. Life is going to expose you to stuff. And even if your kids you lock your kids' stuff up, and even if you do your best with your kids and stuff, they have friends who parents may not be doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They may have to get you into stuff. I know stuff that I didn't know nothing about, that I was hanging around people that would get me disposed to stuff, seeing stuff on the table. I'm like, I don't know what none of this is.
Yeah.
You know
what are
I'm
these
saying?
pipes?
Yeah.
What's happening right there? See some crazy stuff.
Smells
bro.
funny in here. You know what I mean? So
why I feel woozy?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so those things that you I think some things you can't avoid, and I think you can do your best.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, again, my
but it's something like that avoidable is what people saying. Like, why does he doesn't have to, but like, could he made a better decision to like not do that, or was it just?
I think it's for me. You can always make it better. He can make the bus all black. Nobody would ever say anything. He can make the bus whatever. Whatever. All black. It could have been a different art. He could have blurred them out. He could have done a lot of stuff, but he didn't because he felt like he didn't have to. And as an artist, a lot of times, and you know this as an artist yourself, a lot of times your art comes from how you feel. Mm-hmm. And that feeling may make a lot of people upset.
His feeling was expensive pain.
Expensive pain. Yeah. And I kind of got that. That's even in what I was saying. I kind of understand what you're saying by saying expensive pain, or at least I think I do, because I'm not a Meek Mill fan. Yeah. I don't even listen to his music. You know what I'm saying? So, but I understand, like, if you call yourself an artist, then I understand why you did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wonder if there had been the same thing if Kendrick Lamar would have done the same thing.
Let me tell you, if the Kendrick Lamar had done that, I think there's a certain sect of people who would have tried to justify and be like, oh, he's like, it's really artistic because of his pedigree. But I think because of Meek Mill's style of music, I think they're easily jumping on him. But I do think there would have been a sect of people, because there was already people mad at Kendrick Lamar because they thought he was fake conscious. Because then they would have used it. Oh, see, now he's showing his real colors. So
they say he was fake conscious until he showed up at actually the protest. Well, he was masked up. He didn't want nobody to know that was him.
Yeah.
So even with that, why do we feel like we gotta defend ourselves against those type of people? I get what you like, and again, that point.
But Meek Mill was also having to defend himself against black people. So
no, I was just saying that because I was also speaking on the people was calling him fake woke. I was talking about black people that was calling Kendrick Lamar fake woke.
You.
I was talking about people in general that don't know these people. I don't know Meek Mill. I don't know. I try not, unless he's just completely wrong speaking on something.
Yeah.
If you giving an opinion or your experience on life or something, like you telling me about your artistic view on something, it's hard for me to even have a debate on that because I can't have a debate on how you feel. Yeah. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Especially that feeling got you to the level you're at. A lot of people that's talking about him won't make it to that level.
Right.
Your net worth probably will never be 20 million. You know what I'm saying? So it's like his point of view of things is gonna be really different. Yeah. My thing is the fake woke people for me.
How so?
Right? Because it's like, for me, I always thought being woke is having an understanding of seeing things for what they are and being at peace with it, even though the world is not at peace. That's how I always view woke people. Like, I'm gonna try to wake you, and if you don't want to do it, by all means, I can't force you. I can't force you to come in the Matrix. I'm giving you a choice between these two things, and if you don't want to do it, then whatever. My thing is the people that trying to say this, and they do the same thing. You represent white, because no matter what you do, you always gonna break down into a lesser thing. Like, you don't give somebody else, even if black people, the woke person or anybody else say that's how black women are represented. That's how you giving that heat to the people who talk like Kevin Samuels, right? Those people who think black women ain't nothing, and they think they dog black men or whatever the case is. Which me and you both know that's not the case. But you give that person is giving that person that energy. And then the white guys is giving that energy to somebody else that may believe that black women is represented like that. Like, you always somebody's gonna say something to give that energy to somebody else. Yeah. And I always expect like people who claim themselves to be woke to see through that. Like, that's not black women. That's not my black woman. That's art.
But is it also woke?
And if that person do believe that he is wrong right there, not to bash him. Not do the same thing that other groups do, for us throwing hate at somebody and not trying to educate that person. Okay.
I understand that. Do you think it's woke to not just be like, okay, they're ignorant, they don't get it, but because you recognize that they don't get it, but to try to change that, but as you saying, it's more an approach?
I think it's more not. I think it's an approach, the way you're viewing it, and the way you're going about it as an individual.
Right.
Because I don't claim to be woke. I get plenty of sleep. Like I don't I don't claim to be that at all, because I do have certain things that I do stand on my feet on. But it's like certain things that I see is just like, okay, that's not. I can understand something that's not for me. Meek Mill is a great artist to somebody. It's not for me. That's not to say that his music not good. And that's how I expect people. I would think people who claim themselves to be woke to go about things. I think that.
But is it wrong? Like they can be woke and still recognize like the damage maybe somebody can have.
And then that comes with the approach. How do you approach that?
Yeah. Without calling them a coon?
Without calling them a coon?
That probably help.
Yeah, without hating on. Like I feel like when you woke, or people that claim themselves to be woke, or a higher being, you all right? Got a hole in your lip, or claim to be a higher being or something to that degree. I think for me, and I could be wrong because I don't know.
Yeah,
that's not my community. To not have hate in your heart, understanding. Because for me, it's hard for me to hate anything with the amount of understanding that I have.
Yeah. Oh.
So I don't know. I can't respect it. Like how much hate do you have in your heart? Like I don't like Meek Mill, but I never call his art or anything he does trash. Because it's not for me. I can't call it trash, or just because it's not me or me.
I won't say that. I won't. I mean, it'll be my opinion if it's trash.
Yeah, I just say that. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, I won't say it's overall trash. Yeah. I'll be like, I don't think it's good.
What do you think? Because I think there's an element of kind of being hypocritical with like the other representations that we do support, but also I think it's the like we were saying. A lot of people don't have a problem jumping around his music or him having these women in his music videos. But at the same time, there's like proper formats for that. So it's like, do we have a problem with that if he just like does a live performance in the middle of the street with those same women?
I think some people will, some people won't.
Yeah. Because I think the thing is, like, it's easy to be like, oh, y'all being hypocritical, y'all choosing what to be outraged on, but there's an element of we do understand or have understand the society where things belong in certain places, or they have been in certain places.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we was talking about, different cultures. But in the United States, there's different types of culture. That's why we clash all the time, because some people think this is appropriate, and then some people say no, it's not. That's what it is. And then like I do think it's selective, because you're not mad at the way he talk about black women in his music, but you're mad at what he shows. Same thing with any other artist, or artists that do stuff with towards women or anything else.
But
because
there is an air of that in his music to where he is degrading women, and again, that's still like not just like directly out in the open, because you have to go like actually listen to his music to get that message. So they have like that small like saving grace about it, but I do think that if he's adding to the air by the words and you're not upset about it, that it is a tad bit hypocritical.
Hypocritical on
the people who are out, like selective outrage. People outraged about like, this, but not about this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so if you're not mad about the music, why are you mad about this? And if you're telling me the saving grace is the fact that you have to go listen, to go listen to it. What about the people that are mad at the bus but still listen to his music? Why he's degrading women?
That depends on why they mad. Because like I said, it's about access.
Okay, so what if they feel like that's a representation of black women, and then they listen to his music? They mad at how he represent women on the bus, but then they go.
Yeah, because then it's like how some black people say, talk about black problems with black people in house, but don't bring that shit outside.
Yeah, but what if it's leaked out like John Gruden? Because John Gruden said things that was in the email that was private. Yeah, that still got him. Well, he still quit because of the stuff that came in behind.
Yeah, he quit. Yeah.
But you feel what I'm saying? Because you saying that It's not about.
But that's the thing, that the access is what got him.
Yeah, the access is what got him.
Because now that we know,
yeah,
he was out of here.
But what do you still be like? Okay, that was private. Somebody leaked that. That's not right. He should still have his job because he did it in the space that he's supposed to be.
I still think it's like somebody leaking this stuff was like messed up.
But you still think it was messed up that they leaked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want nobody leaking my private emails. So
but what if it's something egregious, like what he said? I think that's a problem. I think that's a misunderstanding for me too. Like, cause I do understand what you're saying, that one thing you have to go search for and go get yourself. Yeah. And the other thing is like, this is out in the open, but is it wrong? Period, though.
Yeah. I think what he was saying in his emails is wrong. Period. And I'm glad that we are now aware of what it is. But at the same time, I also believe that people have like their own spaces they should feel comfortable in. Yeah. And like have private.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like it's two things, but I'm glad we know what he thinks. So
yeah. Nah, I ain't saying that.
Yeah, I'm glad we know. Yeah, he had to get up out of here.
But that's a slippery slope too, because it's like, man, what is truly the problem? Is the problem is what he's saying or what he done? I mean, what he's saying or what he's showing? Because if
both. That's the thing.
I'm talking about like I'm talking about not John Gruden, but like the Meek Mill situation. My bad. So I switched it to the Meek Mill situation. Yeah. He's showing it and he's saying it. And a lot of artists say
I think the problem is who he's showing it to.
I mean, but anybody can listen to his music.
Yeah, but they have to go listen to his music. I don't have to even know who Meek Mill is to be walking down the street and all of a sudden I got ass in my face.
But how long is that ass in your face? Is he parked or you driving by?
Either way, you saw it and you didn't ask for it.
So you think is more outraged about it? People who know Meek Mill or people who don't know Meek Mill?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That's a good way of looking at it too. Because like for me, it's just I don't think it matter either way. Because like I say, it's art. It's not. It's for the person to be. It's for each individual to interpret it the way they want to.
Right.
And you can be mad about it. That's respected. You can see it how you want to see it. I think that's respected. I think all those images are respected until you start putting actual labels on certain things. Mm-hmm. This is how black women is represented. It's a type of black woman. In that type of way. Because the person that made it, you don't see her up there.
But I think even that framing is what like leads to those stereotypes. Even the white dude saying, "This is how you want black women." He could have said this. He could have said this is a certain type of black woman,
but he didn't.
But he didn't.
That go back to your point.
And he's speaking to his people,
whoever following him,
whoever follows him,
which is most likely white,
and then they're gonna feed into that, and they're gonna be some outrage, justified or not.
Mm-hmm. That's the same thing. Like that's the same dynamic that happens with like people who are like radical right, or you see like the black dude that's with like the Confederate flag, and these are my brothers, and they be all white, and it's just like, well, this person is speaking to a certain demographic, so it's like, well, he's saying it, and he's black. So he must be right. Yeah. So like, how do we differentiate that? How do we get people to say one person does not represent all of us? Right. This white dude saying this does not. He is not the leader of all these other whites.
And I think that's just gonna come down.
Even though he influenced those.
That's just gonna come down to exposure, because I'm sure like white people in white culture understand the nuance because they see white strippers and they see a lot of successful white people. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's about exposure. They see one type of successful black person, then they might just attach on it. Like with J. Cole, I'm not successful unless I dribble or I fiddle with mics. Because a lot of times people just have that one perspective. Bro, let's keep going off, bro. We might have to.
But I don't know, man. That's why I don't worry about that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I don't worrying about what other people think. I think you're right. It can be detrimental to my progress, but I can't keep. Like I say about the Michelle Obama thing, I graduated from 2 Ivy League schools. Right. Probably top of a class. I'm the wife of the first black president. Not only that, but I got all these other accolades. And you worrying about my sleeves? What else do you want me to do? At this point, I would have to say like a small country or something. Yeah. And even like, you feel what I'm saying? Like what? Like
people gonna feel how they feel regardless. Yeah. And sometimes you can never do enough. But I don't. But for me, I sympathize with how you feel because I feel the same way. But at the same time, I am aware of like the social dynamic.
I am too. Yeah. And I think that's scary, bro. Because like for me, I'm always like, I just gotta pick a side. Yeah. But I understand the the nuance in between all of it. I understand that I understand that when I go to a job interview or when I work for somebody, I have to dress up into a certain type of way. And I thought, hey, how you doing? Shake your hand and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand that if I work for myself, I don't need to do that at all.
Right.
But not everybody is privy to that.
Yeah.
It's like not everybody is privy to a certain type of experience or a certain type of education,
right,
or intelligence level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those dynamics are very important, especially with what we're doing.
Got anything else you want to add?
Perspectives, man. Respect other people's respect everybody's point of view. Respect everybody's perspective, even if it's not yours, and even if you don't agree with it. Unless it's harmful towards you, I don't think it's necessary to hate or not to be around somebody. Me and him disagree all the time. I think that's the problem with society now, especially in America. People think that if a person doesn't agree with you all the time or with everything that you do, then you can't be friends or you can't associate with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Disagreements helps people come together and understand other people's point of view better so we can get along.
Mm-hmm.
Disagreements makes bonds stronger. So respect everybody's point of view and perspective and listen.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part. Listen.
And that's what this show is all about. And I second what you said. And also, I just want to, I don't know, I blanked out. I had a point.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think you summed it up quite nicely. Yeah. But yeah, just be willing to listen to other people and just, sometimes you have to be humble. Like if somebody else has a different perspective, it's probably something that you don't recognize because you are on the other side. So, yeah. And I think that'll do it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed our new format that we're experimenting with. Just let us know in the comments and decide who you thought argued better in the initial part of the debate.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So make sure you mind the gap.